These are your Unit 2A Day 2 notes. In this video, we are going to work on Standard 2A, adding and subtracting polynomials. Adding and subtracting polynomials is very similar to simplifying algebraic expressions. So the big thing is when adding polynomials, you can only combine like terms. Remove the parentheses, and the steps are you remove the parentheses and rewrite each term, then you combine them, and the final answer should be in standard form. And remember, standard form is the exponents in order from largest to smallest, ending with your constant or your number. So let's look at this. We have the quantity 2x squared plus x minus 8 plus 5x plus 3. Because we're adding, first thing we do is remove our parentheses. Because when you add, it does not matter what order you do it in. So we have 2x squared plus x minus 8 plus 5x plus 3. Now that I've done that, I go ahead and I combine my like terms. I have my x squareds. I have my x's. And I have my numbers. So I look here and I can see I have a 2x squared, and that is the only x squared. So I list the coefficient in this column, which is 2. Next, I go to my x's, and I can see I have a positive x and a positive 5x. I'm going to go ahead and highlight these red, and then I'm going to put the coefficients in the x column. It's a 5 and a positive 1x, so I'm going to write that as 1. Last, I can see I have my numbers or my constants. I'm going to highlight those blue and put them in the numbers column. I have a negative 8 and a positive 3. My last step is to add them by the column. So I can see here I have a 2 and there's nothing to add there. So that's going to just stay blank. And then I need to carry the x squared down with it. So we have 2x squared. Next I add these two together. 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. And I leave my x with it, so plus 6x. And last, I'm going to go ahead and add negative 8 plus 3, which gives me an answer of negative 5. And this is the answer when I add this polynomial, 2x squared plus 6x minus 5, okay? And I want you to see that this is in order from largest exponent to smallest. So we have squared, we have nothing, and then we have our number, okay? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do this example as well. And when I set up my table, you guys, I just immediately put the table in largest exponent to smallest, so then it's already in order for me on the bottom when I combine my like terms. So that's something that you could be doing. All right, so here we go. First, I'm going to remove my parentheses because this is an addition equation. So we have 3x plus 4x minus x squared plus 12 plus 4x, right? I can see that I have, the terms I have are x squareds, x's, and numbers. I'm going to go ahead and identify my like terms. I have a negative x squared, so I'm going to write this as negative 1 in my x squared column. Then I go ahead and I find my regular x's. I have a 3x, a positive 4x, and another positive 4x. I'm going to go ahead and line those up in my x column. So I have a 3, a 4, and a 4. And last, I'm going to identify my numbers, which is just a 12 here. Okay, now that I've organized my like terms, I'm going to rewrite my expression. I'm going to find my answer, in other words. So I see in this column, I have negative 1x squared, and I don't put the negative 1 in front of it. When I'm writing this, I just write negative x squared, because it's simple to see that there is only 1 here. Next, I'm going to add my x's up. I have 3 plus 4 plus 4, so 7 plus 4 is equal to 11. So plus 11x, and last I have my plain number of 12. And this is in order from largest exponent to smallest. So I'm going to go ahead and put my box around my final answer. So you can see, again, that this is very similar to what we were doing. Okay, now let's look at this problem. We have 2 times the quantity x squared plus x minus 4 plus 3 times 2x plus 1. So what do you notice is different? Bingo! There are numbers in front of the parentheses. If a polynomial has a number in the front of a parentheses, the first thing you have to do is distribute. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. I have 2 times x squared plus x minus 4 plus 3 times quantity 2x plus 1. This is a long equation. So like I said, my first step is to distribute. So that means I need to multiply the number on the outside by each term on the inside. I do not add first because we do not have any like terms inside of the parentheses, so I can't combine anything in here first. I just immediately start with my distribution. So 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Next, I go ahead and I just write my addition sign in, again, because when you're adding, you don't have to do that extra step of distributing the subtraction sign, which you'll learn more about. Now I'm going to go ahead and distribute here. So I have my 3 times 2x, which is 6x, and then I have 3 times 1, which is 3. All right, now that I've distributed, I can go ahead and combine my like terms. And for space reasons, I'm going to go ahead and put my table over here so I can see I have x squareds. I have x's. And I have numbers. All right, let's get these highlighted and organized. So I have, oops, wrong color. We have a 2x squared, and that is our only x squared, so I'm going to put 2 in that column. Now let's find our plain x's. We have a positive 2x and a positive 6x. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that in my x column, 2 and 6. And then last, I'm going to identify my constants. So I have my negative 8 and my positive 3. I'm going to go ahead and put that in my number column. So we have a negative 8 and a positive 3. And now my last step is to combine my like terms. All right, here I just have a plain 2. So I'm going to write this as 2x squared, nothing to combine. Here I have a 2 and a 6. 2 plus 6 is 8. So this would be plus 8x. And then last we have negative 8 plus 3, which is equal to negative 5. Okay? And that is my final answer because it is in standard form. Okay, on this page, you are going to add these polynomials on your own. You will not be given the answer. This is how I will know whether you watched the video and you learned the material. Go ahead and do this. All right, now we are going to look at subtracting polynomials. All right, there's one more step when you subtract. So when I look here, I have 8x squared plus x plus 8 minus 5x squared plus 3. Oh, and just like when we add, it has to be in standard form, okay? It's just something very important to remember, standard form. Okay, so the extra step that I have to take here is I have to distribute the negative sign and or the number outside of the parentheses. So let's start with this example. You can see that I have a negative sign here, a subtraction sign. The first thing I have to do is distribute this, and the reason that is because I am subtracting everything in here. If I only write negative 5x squared, that's not accounting for the 3 that's in here. I'm having this whole polynomial and I'm subtracting this entire polynomial. So I have to distribute my minus sign. So here we go. Minus 5x squared equals negative 5x squared. And then we have our negative 5 multiplied by positive 3 is equal to negative 15. Now that I've distributed my negative sign, I can go ahead and write the rest of the expression or the other part of the polynomial. So we have 8x squared plus x plus 8, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing as we've done before and identify and combine our like terms. So first I see my 8x squared and my negative 5x squared. Those are like terms. Then I see I have a plain positive x. And last, I see I have a positive 8 and a negative 15. For the sake of time in this video, I am just going to combine these the short way. So we have 8x plus negative 5x squared. That is equal to 3x squared. Next, I have my x, and there is nothing to combine it with, so I'm simply going to write this as a positive x. And last, I have my positive 8 and my negative 15, and when I combine those together, I am left with negative 7. I look here and I can see this is in standard form, largest exponent to smallest, so I go ahead now and put a box around this to identify that this is my answer. All right, I'm going to show you just one more. So here we have 4x plus 10 minus 2x squared minus 2 times the quantity 5x plus 4. So if you look up here, this first thing is we distribute either the negative sign, which was right here, or the number outside of the parentheses. So we have this negative 2 here, so that means I have to distribute the negative 2 to both terms, okay? Not just the negative sign. So here we go. The first thing is I distribute my negative sign. So we have negative 2 times 5x, which gives us negative 10x. And then we have negative 2 times 4, which gives us a negative 8. Now that I've distributed, I can go ahead and write the rest of my expression. So I have 4x plus 10 minus 2x squared. Now that I've done that, I can combine my like terms. I always start with my largest exponent, which here is my negative 2x squared. Next, I'm going to go ahead and identify my x's. So I have a 4x, and I have a negative 10x. And last, I'll identify my constants or my numbers. We have a positive 10 and a negative 8. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms. I only have 1x squared, so I'm going to write that down, which is negative 2x squared. There are no like terms with my x squared. Next, I'm going to combine my x's. I have a 4 and a negative 10. 4 plus negative 10 is equal to negative 6. So I have a negative 6x. And last, I combine my constants. I have a 10 and a negative 8. 10 combined with negative 8 is equal to a positive 2. This is in standard form, my largest exponent to my smallest, so I know that I am done. So I will go ahead and identify my answer. Okay? All right. Now your job is to do these two on your own, okay? Don't forget to distribute the -2 and the negative sign.